Welcome to part 16 module 2 computer networks. So we were discussing the data link layer protocols and we already seen that point-to-point protocol. Now we move our attention on the so-called high level data link control protocol. So HDLC, high level data link control protocol, is a bit oriented protocol. So that is the main difference from the byte oriented called a point-to-point protocol, something we already seen, but here it is a bit oriented protocol for communication over point-to-point and multi-point links, and it implements the automatic repeat request, the ARQ mechanisms, something we already covered in our flow control techniques. So unlike the byte oriented protocol, like a point-to-point protocol, say bit oriented protocol is not concerned with byte boundary. It simply views the frame as a collection of bits. So that is how it is getting the name, and these bits might come from some character sets such as ASCII, or there might be some pixel values in an image, or there could be some instruction and operands from an executable file. So depending on what you are communicating, if it is an image or a text file or an executable image, so accordingly the information being conveyed by the bits will vary. Synchronous Data Link Control, SDLC, is a protocol by IBM. Is a bit oriented protocol, and later this SDLC was later standardized by the ISO, so-called International Standards Organization, as the High Level Data Link Control Protocol, HDLC. So HDLC predecessor is actually SDLC, Synchronous Data Link Control, which is being standardized by ISO as HDLC. HDLC denotes both the beginning and end of a frame with a special pattern. So this is the same pattern we are using for point-to-point protocol also, but in case of point-to-point protocol, this 7E pattern, we will stuff an additional escape byte if it is occurring in the original message. But here the main difference is, if this is the start and end frame delimiter pattern. I am used to denote the beginning and end of each frame. If the same pattern is being occurring in the original payload, that will be that pattern will be broken by stuffing just a single bit, and we will see that. So this sequence is also transmitted during any times that the link is idle, so the sender and the receiver can keep their clock synchronized. So just like what we seen in point-to-point protocol, here also if the link is idle, if the link don't want to communicate anything, simply this special pattern will be communicated. With that synchronization happen nicely. Now because the sequence might appear anywhere in the body of the actual frame or the actual payload, in fact, the bit zeros followed by 6 ones and 0 might cross byte boundaries. So the bit oriented protocols use a technique known as bit stuffing to deal with the situation. Bit stuffing is something we already seen and you are knowing about it, but in HDLC particularly how this bit stuffing is working, we will see in the next slide. The bit stuffing, it's something like the bit stuffing in HDLC works as follows. On the sender side, sending side, any time the 5 consecutive ones have been transmitted from the body of the message, excluding when the sender is trying to transmit the distinguished pattern. So end delimiter pattern, its transmission is a different case. We don't have to consider that one. Other than that, in the original payload, whenever on the original process some 5 ones were coming, followed by that 1 0 will make the end pattern. So that should not happen. So irrespective of the 6th bit, what we will do, the sender will insert a 0 forcefully before transmitting the next bit. Okay, so that about it. And now at the receiver side, so whenever such a message is being received at the receiver side, there should 5 consecutive ones were coming, assume so, because whenever 5 ones, the next bit you stuffed as 0, and this end delimiter pattern you didn't done any stuffing. Okay, so at the receiver side it is simply observing the information as a sequence of bits only. It will observe each bit by bit, so that is why it is called bit oriented protocol. So whenever it is getting, it will keep a counter and 5 ones were coming continuously. The receiver has to take a decision, right, whether it is end or stuffed one. If it is stuffed one, it will destuff based on the next bit it sees. Now if the following the 5 ones, suppose the next bit is a 0, definitely it will be a stuffed one, right? So it must have been stuffed, and so the receiver simply remove it, that is destuff the bit, and it will proceed as actual message, and it will continue the same process. Now if the next bit following the 5 consecutive ones is a 1, right, then can you directly move on to the decision that it is a end delimiter pattern, because our end delimiter pattern is actually following this 5 1, then 1 then again a 0 should be there. But sometimes, you know, this bit that you stuffed to 0 may be erroneously converted to 1 also. Such a situation is also there. So now you have to carefully observe its following bit. Then one of the two things is true, that is either it is a end frame marker, you can stop reading at that point, or it could happen because of an error to the stuffed bit. Both possibilities are there, so that you have to keep in mind by looking at its next bit. So now you are observing two bits actually. Following the fifth bit, if it is a 0 coming, you will destuff and you will proceed. Following 5 ones, if it is 1 coming, then it has to look at the next bit also. I mean one more bit, that is the 7th bit, by which the receiver will be distinguishing between the two cases, that is whether it is error or it's a end delimiter pattern. Now if that 7th bit is observed is a 0, definitely it is going to be a pattern like this, that is the end delimiter pattern. Then it is end delimiter frame and it will stop the process at that point. I mean stop reading, or it will communicate it as a single frame to the higher layer. So that frame reading is completed, that is the meaning. Now if it is C is a 1, and that is something like this, see, it's not going to happen a pattern, get a pattern like this, right? That means 8 continuous 1, because 6 1, then a 0 is our end delimiter pattern, and if 5 ones are coming, definitely the 6th one you are going to stuff as 0, and here that stuffed 0 could be changed to 1, something like that, because the 7th bit is erroneously changed to 0 is changed to 1. Anything can happen, then there must have been some error and the whole frame is discarded. That is the only way the receiver can, the error detection happen. Now in the later case, that means whenever there is error, the receiver has to wait for another special pattern 0 followed by 6 1 and a 0 before it can start receiving again. Otherwise, so far whatever things were coming, it will interpret as error and it will keep on discarding. And as a consequences, there is a potential that the receiver will fail to receive 2 consecutive frames. So it may miss out 2 frames also even. Obviously, there are still ways that frame error can go undetected even, such as when the entire spurious end frame pattern is generated by error. But normally bit errors are more frequent in a local area network, but if all these 8 bits were spuriously changed, if something like that is happening, that is something, it will lead to a failure. Of course, we are not able to handle such situations, but such things are relatively unlikely only. So HDFC frame format, like point-to-point protocol frame format, you can see some beginning and sequence, the same pattern occur as the ending sequence even, and the header part and the body and the CRC, the checksum part. And the number of bits were highlighted because it's a bit oriented protocol, say 8 bit, 16 bit, and the body variable length, and again 16 bit and 8 bit. And so you can explain this. I didn't add any explanation, and something I highlighted here is actually the Tannenbaum text, this HDLC is not discussed much, but I referred that Patterson textbook and Foroson. In Patterson it's introduced but in a very brief way. So what are all things explained in Patterson is what I explained so far, but in Foroson it is going slightly more detail, like the frame itself they are classifying, like the information frame, I frame, supervisory frame, S frame, the unnumbered frame like a U frame, like that. So I just thought of giving a picturization to you. Simply the same concept only, the start delimiter and end delimiter flag, then address information. As it is a point-to-point communication, typically it will be some 8 to 1, something like that. The control information, information, and this is the copy I am having is actually erroneous. This is FCS, okay, frame check sequence, like that. The information frame actually conveying the user information, so information will be coming, but the S frame is some kind of control frame only. So the control information, no actual data, and for managerial purpose we are using the unnumbered frames, that is for the management information communication. And what I can show you now is, so this is that Foroson textbook. See, they are explaining like this, the information frames, I frame, supervisory frame, S frame, and unnumbered frame. Each type of frame serves as an envelope for the transmission of a different type of message. For example, if it is iframe, that is used to transport the user data and control information relating to user data. I mean, in case of piggybacking, something we already seen in piggybacking, that control information will be hooked with the actual data. So that is why in both case iframe is enough. But if it is a special control frame alone, you can make use of S frame and are used to transfer the control information particularly. Again, this is not V frame, this is U frame, standing expanding for unnumbered, are reserved for the system management purpose, and they are intended for managing the link itself. So they are mainly the unnumbered frames, so that is why it is having that name. And you can see that pattern here. And similarly, if you have time, you can go through the reading of this HDLC from this textbook, the 4000 textbook, with the one you already followed in your data communication class. And they were telling about some two types of transfer mode, like normal response mode and asynchronous balanced mode. So as you have time, you can go through it. I am not explaining much. I think for if it is some 5-mark question, whatever things I explained so far, that you can highlight, but depending on the mark, or sometimes particularly they may ask you what are all different types of HDLC frame. In that case, you can explain like this, and the fields were explained. Everything, something like all what you already familiar, like about the pattern, the control information, the address field, the frame check sequence, like that it is being explained. That is the CRC pattern. And control field itself is going some detail. Too much details is not needed, but some minimum reading will be good, right? So that is why I thought of showing you this textbook also. If you, depending on your time availability, you can read this also. So with this, I thought of winding up this, and next we will see the so-called media access control in our next discussion, next part of the video. Thank you.